Go.
Today we're going to talk about the columnist for the Washington Post, Jamal Khashoggi, um, who entered the Saudi Arabian consulate in Istanbul 10 days ago. He hasn't been heard from since. And everyone is saying that Saudi Arabia either killed him or they cut him into pieces. And it's caused worldwide confusion, and people are sort of fighting and they're ready to fight. Naturally, Turkish officials say they're counting on Washington to fight and show that they want them to force Saudi Arabia to provide a more detailed accounting of what actually happened to Mr. Khashoggi, because 15 people went into this building here. 15 people went in, and that's the building there in Istanbul, that they think he was killed or dismembered, and he never came out. And this has really created a lot of confusion. Now, he was wearing some kind of watch, supposedly, and that watch was taking pictures of everything that happened, which we're trying to get to that. And they also want Trump to press the South Arabian leader to do some talking and tell us what happened. People from all over the world, including our congressmen, are all yelling and screaming, we want to know what happened, and if it happened that he was killed for no reason, then we want Saudi Arabia to be punished. In fact, Mr. Graham, one of the congressmen, said if that happened, Saudi Arabia is going to wish they didn't do it, and they're going to be punished greatly. That's where it is right now. And supposedly Saudi Arabia has been down lately. They say that their oil contracts are down, and their oil production and what oil they have is down. But the guy that's running Saudi Arabia, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, he went to Paris, France lately, and he bought a boat for $550 million, and he also bought a place to live in Paris for $550 million. So that's a little more than one barrel of oil. But I don't know how this will heat up and how much pressure they'll put on Saudi Arabia. But if they put enough pressure on them, naturally Saudi can cut off some people's contracts in their oil supply and their oil. So if Saudi did that, what would our Congress do about it? Are they going to start digging in our shores? They're going to start digging in our shores all around the country of the United States, because we think we have oil on most of those shores all the way around the United States, and we could take oil out, and we could honor their contracts from these people around the world as Saudi starts cutting their contracts. The question is, how do we get the oil to them from the United States all the way over to Turkey and Saudi and Iran, all those places that are around Saudi Arabia? I mean, it's not like walking across the street. It's a long, long trip. And if you send it you can send it by ship or these containers, or if we're going to try to get into the oil business, we're going to have some kind of pipeline. It's going to have to be dug, put in the ground. It's going to have to run, bam, straight across from Miami to cross that ocean, and the oil can run from that. But I mean, that's a huge project, and it would take years and years to really pursue that. So I don't know how hard our Congress will be to cut off Saudi Arabia, but naturally, if they're too tough on them. In fact, I know Turkey is sort of mad of our tariffs that we put on their goods have raised the prices in Turkey, and a lot of people there don't have nothing to eat now, and now they have less to eat because they got to pay these tariffs. So I don't know what the future brings, but if our Congress is going to press hard enough to cut off Saudi Arabia, they better figure out a way to honor their oil contracts. Everybody talks on TV, and I said it yesterday, for hours and hours, nobody mentions oil. Saudi has all the oil, they've had it the whole time. Now they're supposedly, what they have left is getting lower, but they still have it. And if we give them enough trouble and they cut that oil off, this guy that got killed, James Khashoggi, who is not American, he'll just go into history quick. But I want to know what kind of punishment Congress intends to put on Saudi Arabia. Because if I know what that punishment is, or if the world knows, then we can go start making arrangements to cover these contracts and different things. Now Trump's yelling because Saudi Arabia is sort of backing out of this $100 billion contract for military goods from China or Russia. That's what's going to happen. Because during the year we've had, they've only spent dollars out of the $100 billion, and I'm satisfied that they're quitting with that contract. So the question is, how much pressure do we want to put on them? Because they have one thing that nobody in the world has since day one: oil. And if we give them enough trouble, the people are really pressing, pushing, giving them trouble, they can very easily cut off your contract, my contract, their contracts. I don't know. I haven't checked to see what U.S. has with them now, but I know all these other countries, Britain, France, they all have contracts to get oil from Saudi Arabia. But before we start yelling and yelling, we better do some figuring. If that's cut off for any country, how do we cover it? Who's going to reproduce it? The United States going to get it out of the ground and send it over there? Be a nice bus ride, I'll tell you. Thank you.